Hey everybody, it's Sue. So in today's video, I'm so excited to start working on my December journal, my fabric December journal again. I did do a video, I don't know, about a month ago showing what the cover is going to be and the base of the pages, and I don't think I've changed any of that. I have added some new fabrics in here that I didn't have before. But I'm just going to set this to the side for a minute. I've started to collect pieces of fabrics and stuff. Like this is some batting, like long, like narrower pieces. And because I'm going to be using these to make a Christmas tree at some point for one of the pages. So I'll explain that when I get to it because I've never done it before. So yeah, I do have just a little box of some, Christmassy type trims. I have little snowmen. Yeah, so I have this and I'll set that to the side. I do have some stamps, although I do know, like I have these already stamped, and I'm sure I'll be using at least one of these in there. But I do have some cute little stamps that if I want to pull those in, I can. Now, the reason I have this here is this is my 2022 December Daily. That was part of the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. This was volume 2. And I pulled it out because I want to count the pages with all of you. Because I don't do like the typical December Daily. I don't know. I do a lot less days than every day. So I don't need a ton of pages. So let's go ahead and just open this up and we're going to kind of count. So obviously there's the cover, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. And then the back. Oh, 8, 9, 10. 10. Okay. And then the back. So there are 10 pages, which would mean, so I think the way that I did this, I know how I want to do the new one. Let me see how I did this. I guess it doesn't really matter how I did this one, but I know what I want to do with the bigger one that we're going to start now. And it's basically November. I think the day it's not, there's a couple days yet till November when this video is going to come out. But what I do know, and the reason I mention that is because, I do like to have my December journal done by the end of December. I mean, done with any journaling and pictures and that kind of stuff in it and done. So I can put it away. That's kind of how I like to do it. And normally I do like to use paper for journals, but I do like to use fabrics as well. So this one's going to be mainly fabric. If I have, anything in here that's paper, that is more than fine. I am not trying to make it to where it's just all fabric and that's it. It doesn't matter to me that much. This was a tag that I had already made, which will go into the journal for sure. So I'll be making more tags. Like I said, I want to do a page that has this really beautiful Christmas tree on it with fabrics. So there's stuff like that I want to do. So there'll be some smaller projects within this bigger project. So I do know that I want this right here. So this is from a panel. Don't know who it's by. I don't see a salvage edge, so I can't tell you. But I think this is going to be the front. No, I know this is going to be the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear down here. I'm going to do it right now. Now I'm thinking maybe I'll cut it and not tear it because I don't want to mess it up. But you see how there's this extra fabric on the side? That I'm going to use towards my spine, so to speak. So I know that that's the front. So let's go ahead and cut that out so that I have that. And then we can decide for sure which block or panel I will use for the back. So I'm going to try, you know, like many of us, we cannot do anything straight. So that's why I like to tear things. Well, I like the fraying as well when you tear. But, yeah, because it's so hard. You know what? Let me turn this. I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible so I get a semi-straight edge. So then we have this here. Now I'm noticing that like with this star right here, I'm going to be kind of cutting some of it off. And that's just, I'm going to have to be okay with that. Right? And that's okay. I'm not going to fret over that. Okay. So, yay, we have the cover of our journal. Looks a little lopsided there. I guess I have to pull it into place. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, so that's the front. And you notice all the buttons? Yeah. I will probably be sewing buttons on the front of that for sure. All right, so now, because these are all really pretty, so I have to decide what I want on the back. Maybe something, oh, well, this is cute. This is cute. So what I'm thinking is since I have, where'd it go? I lost the front page already. So since I have this to be part of the seam, it would probably be a good idea for me to have that as well, because I can make it double thick or not. So I can decide what to do. So I think for that purpose, and sorry if you hear loud noise, my cousin next door has a tree person there. I'm going to use this one. I like it, and I'm going to use it, and I like it also for the reason of it having that edge to it, which just gives me a little bit more to play with as far as fabric and choices on how to do a spine. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I do have some bells, but I think they would be too big to put on here. Oopsie, I shouldn't be cutting sideways like this. Oh my gosh, the stress, the stress. Okay, I'm going to put this away. I don't think I'm using any more of this. So that can go away. It is done. Okay. Put that on the other table. All right, so now I have the front and the back, right? So it'll go like this with all the pages in between. All right. So now the pages are going to be made out of this. So if I have, and I know what I want to do. So I want to make it, so I'm going to have to decide like quickly how I'm going to do this, because I'm going to need to know the full size of this. So I'm going to need to know what I'm doing with the spine. You know what? I'm going to turn my little iron on here because I have to iron this because it's folded over right now. Okay, so I have to decide what I'm going to do there, and maybe I'll just do something where I kind of overlap it a little bit and stitch it. So maybe I don't need to iron that. Okay, let me turn the iron off because maybe that's what I'll do. The only thing is is that if I do that, so let me just pin this. Let's just play with this for a second. So if I pin this, if I could get to my pins, let's just kind of see. I lost a pin. Let's just kind of see what that does to the spine. I want to see what it looks like. So that's not bad. That is not bad. I like that. I like that. Okay, so that's going to be the size. Okay, so what's going to happen, and this is a big piece of fabric. What's going to happen, use your imagination. Well, this is basically almost the right size, but I'm going to cut out, I'm going to start with 5 pages that are the same size as my cover. I'm just thinking, maybe I'll make them, should I make them a little smaller? I don't think so. I think I'm going to make them the same size as my whole cover. So I'm going to cut 5, like basically this size. Because what I want to do, so in my head, like I'm not going to sew in the pages until I'm done with this, right? Because so I'm going to have 5 of these pieces, which will actually give me 20 pages, right? Because it's, you get the front and the back, front and the back. No, because I have to sew them together. I have to sew them together. So it's going to give me just 10 pages, which is fine to start with. But what I'm going to do, my thought is this, that let's just use this for an example. Okay. That the page is going to be separate. Actually, I could sew the pages in. I could, but I probably won't until the end. So each page is going to have a panel in it. So that will be there. Let's say, for example, this one will be here. Sorry, I think I'm gonna have to stop the video sooner than later because of the noise next door. And so then on here and on here, I'm gonna have a pocket, I think, on every single page, except for the page where I have my tree. And yeah, so this is just my thoughts right now. So then what will happen is that the page will get sewn here into the journal cover. So yeah, and I might put the pages inside to make like one signature, or I might keep each page its own individual signature. So I would end up with, in this case, 5 different signatures. Now I do also, I hope that made sense. Let me know if it didn't. But on the inside of this, I also need to, well, I need to put some batting in here, and I need to put something on the inside, right? So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and, you know what, maybe I'll cut 6 pages, and then I'll make sure that I have some leftover fabric, and if I do, I'll use this same fabric for the inside of the cover. Yeah, so yep, and then all of the accent fabrics are going to come from here. So I know that I was thinking very, oh, what's the kind of fabric? I can't think of the name of it. Homespun. I was thinking very homespunny, kind of like patchworky kind of, you know, feel to it. But I'm gonna do more than just that because I have all this really nice fabric, so I want to use it. What else? What else? What else? So I think that's it. So I'm going to stop this video here. And like, even for like the pockets, like I can use even some just plain fabric for the pockets. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what I want to do. But anyway, so my first step now, after getting the size of it, and do you want to know what the size is? Let me see. You know, oh, I have a yardstick in here. Wait, give me a second. Don't go away. It's right here. I knew I kept it here for a reason. Oh my gosh, I don't even know why I have this in here. But it's really, 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 really an old yardstick. Yep. Look at the phone number, Tucker 7, right? Those numbers are long gone, or letters. Okay, so unfortunately this is only going to be in inches because, well, this ruler doesn't have centimeters. So it is like 19.5 inches by 9 inches. So the ninth, let's just go with 19. So it's like basically 9.5 inches this way by 9 inches this way. So it's almost a square. And you know what? I'm going to cut them out to be a square. So maybe I'll do 8 inch by 8 inch. So that will leave, like when I say that, I mean 8 inch by 8 inch of this fabric to make the panel, which will leave, you know, you'll still be able to see the fabric underneath and here for the spine. So then I'm going to, like, my thought is I'm going to work on these panels separately outside of the journal. Like, you don't need to sew into a whole journal. You just don't. Because that could get very, very, very hard. So I'm going to take these panels, I'm going to cut approximately 8 by 8 inches, which is, what is 8 by 8? You know what? That doesn't give me centimeters either. This does, though. So 8 by 8 is about just over 20 centimeters by just over 20 centimeters. So, like, so this will be a, I'm going to call it a block. And I'll do whatever I'm going to do to this outside of the journal. When it's fully done for that day in December, I can sew this in here. What do you think? I think that will work. That's my thought. So I'm going to hop off and I'm going to get tearing this fabric down, and I will see you probably next Wednesday for this particular project. Maybe I'll put these videos out on Wednesdays, but that's what it's going to look like. Yep, super cool, super cool. I love it. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And so I think this is going out on Wednesday, this video, which means that tomorrow, Thursday, I will have my Roxy Journal of Stitchery video going out. So check it out. All right, thanks so much for being here. God bless, and I'll see you soon. Alrighty, bye-bye.